long ago on the southern shores of Japan, where restless waves whisper stories of the past, a quiet temple stood near the site of a terrible battle. A battle that had ended a long and brutal war. Centuries earlier, two powerful clans had fought for control of the nation. The Minamoto and the Taira. Their conflict was merciless. Countless lives were lost, and the sea itself became a grave for the fallen. Even after the war ended, its memory refused to fade. Across Japan, storytellers traveled from place to place, keeping the tragedy alive through haunting performances. But among them, one name stood above all others. Hōichi, a blind monk and a master of the biwa. With nothing but his voice and his instrument, he could bring the past to life. When he played, his music rose like crashing waves and fell like warriors in battle. His audience didn't just hear the story, they felt it. One night, as silence covered the temple, a sudden knock echoed through the darkness. Heavy, demanding, a samurai stood at the gate. Without a word, he ordered Hōichi to follow him. A noble lord, he claimed, wished to hear his performance. Trusting the stranger, Hōichi agreed, and so he stepped into the night. As they walked, something felt wrong. The path twisted beneath his feet. The air grew colder. Time itself seemed to stretch endlessly. He could no longer tell how far they had gone or where they were. Then suddenly, they stopped. Before them stood a vast hall, silent and unnatural. As Hōichi stepped inside, he felt it instantly. He was not alone. Invisible eyes surrounded him, watching, waiting. Then, from the darkness, a voice spoke, cold, commanding. It demanded he recount the final moments of the Taira clan. Hōichi trembled, but slowly, he steadied himself and began to play. His voice carried through the hall, telling of a war that had torn a nation apart. He sang of the Minamoto uprising, their relentless march toward victory. He sang of endless battles, of bloodshed, of loss, and of the Taira, driven to the edge of defeat, fleeing to the sea, protecting their young emperor, a child of only 6 years. Then came the end. Surrounded, overwhelmed, with no escape left, the emperor's grandmother made a final choice. She held the child close and stepped into the ocean, vanishing beneath the waves. As Hōichi's final note faded, the hall fell silent. Then, a sound filled the air. Weeping, soft, endless, sorrowful. The unseen lord spoke again. He ordered Hōichi to return and perform the tale again and again. For several nights, Hōichi followed the samurai through the darkness, each time performing for an audience he could not see. But something was wrong. Back at the temple, the head priest began to notice his absence. Suspicious, he ordered others to follow him. That night, they watched as Hōichi quietly left the temple. But what they found terrified them. He was not in a palace, not in a grand hall, but standing alone, in a graveyard, surrounded by floating ghostly flames, performing to the dead. They rushed him back and told the priest everything, and the truth became clear. Hōichi had not been summoned by the living, but by the restless spirits of the Taira themselves, and if he returned, he would never come back. To save him, the priest acted quickly. He covered Hōichi's body in sacred sutras, ancient symbols meant to hide him from evil. Then he gave one final warning. No matter what happens, do not move, do not speak. That night, the samurai returned. He searched, but could not see Hōichi. The magic had worked. But then, he noticed something, floating in the darkness. 2 ears. In their haste, the monks had forgotten them. Furious, the spirit struck, tearing them away. And yet, Hōichi did not move. He did not cry out. He remained still until the night finally passed. By morning, he was found alive, but forever changed. His story spread across the land. People came from everywhere to hear his tale, not just of war, but of what lies beyond. And though the spirits never returned, His voice ensured one thing: the past would never be forgotten. Even today, his story lives on, a reminder to honor those who came before us, and to never lose ourselves to the shadows of history.